Hello, everyone, and welcome to my review of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. This is the first part in the three-part issue or three-part series, the Deadpool Killology. So, what did I think of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe? I thought initially that the ideas that they had for this comic were very interesting. So, this comic book is what the title says it is, and it's Deadpool basically trying to kill the Marvel Universe. So we start off with Deadpool. We start up with the Watcher, and he tells us this concept of the multiverse and how every single multiverse has a different specific timeline, and certain events happen different ways, which are very interesting. I like how the Watcher explained the whole multiverse idea. But after that, we cut to Deadpool murdering the Fantastic Four family, and that really opens up the comic book. So we find out why Deadpool is more, crazier than he usually is. We meet up with Professor Xavier and the X-Men. They just institutionalized Deadpool to an insane asylum to this really famous doctor that Professor Xavier knows. But apparently that doctor is working for Psycho Man, and he was actually just a drone for Psycho Man. And while Psycho Man was trying to take over Deadpool's body in an attempt to grow an army against the superheroes, Deadpool, gets free and kills him. But in the process of trying to control Deadpool, scrambles his brain and just leaves him mentally unstable. And then something happens in his head where there was two voices in his head that were kind of like, back and forth comedian. But something happened in Deadpool's head that made him, realize, completely break the fourth wall in a completely interesting way. He becomes so he realizes, that he is a character in a comic book. And basically his main goal in this entire, 4-issue run is to kill every single Marvel hero, because he's like, what, screw it. I know I'm a character, we're just little puppets in the game of the writers. And quite frankly, he doesn't care if, I think in his mind he believes that by killing everyone in the Marvel Universe, he's kind of rebelling against the creators and kind of setting, his friends free from the, being the puppets in the game of the writers. Now, what I think is interesting about this comic book, and one of the, if I were to say what I liked about this, is how Deadpool basically comes up with the ways to kill, these different various Marvel characters. How do you kill someone like the Hulk and Thor, and people who are basically kind of like Deadpool. We have the example of X-23 and Wolverine. People who have been in the X Factor or Weapon X program and have the same healing factor as Deadpool. How does Deadpool deal with those kind of superheroes and those kind of superpowers, stuff that him himself has the same healing factor. So it's really interesting to see how Deadpool kills every single Marvel character. It's a lot of head slicing, but there's a lot of really intricate planning and execution. And probably a really interesting example is how Deadpool kills X-23 is he has a monitor hooked up to her vitals, so every time her healing factor comes in, there's flamethrowers that are attached on every single corner of the room, and it just fries her. So every time she begins to heal, it just lights them up. And I really gotta appreciate this book for bringing the gore and definitely not pussying out when it comes to the kills. Probably this is definitely for not for kids. It even says so on the cover. But there's literally a part where fucking Sue Storm just creates a little bubble in Deadpool's head and just expands it, and then it just explodes. And that's pretty crazy. Another interesting, probably one of the things I liked about this was the probably the writing. when you think of the scenarios that happen, we get what Deadpool is trying to do, and we also get the side of what the heroes think about the whole situation. We see the Avengers chime in on what's happening. Everyone really gets to say what they think about this whole situation. Mostly people think Deadpool needs to be killed, and also there's other sides, like different, even Aunt May comes in and we see how she deals with the death of Spider-Man. Spoiler alert, I mean, it's on the cover right there of the first issue. And Aunt May is, really desperate, and she even gets together with all the other people who had their loved ones killed to kind of chime in and pay for an unknown assassin, which I won't reveal, to hire him and then kill Deadpool. So you really get a sense of desperation from everyone who isn't being killed by Deadpool. Even at one point in the entire, story arc of this, there's one point where utter chaos happens between the superheroes and supervillains, and there's almost a suicide pact that happens, and almost an act of desperation. So the way they wrote how desperate the heroes are getting, it was very, very interesting. Now, one of the things I didn't like about this comic book was the art. Delagic, I think his art is just okay. It's not amazing. It's not great. It's good, but it's definitely serviceable. But I think there could have been a little bit more detail. And really, the only problem I have with this is the art is just okay. It's fine, but it's that would really be the only problem with this comic. Would just be the art. And I think the ending might be a little bit problematic for people who really don't understand what's happening. Like, I could think if this is the only thing, if you don't read Deadpool Illustrated after this, then you might feel like this ending is a little bit, poor and, a little bit weak because it kind of just ends there. And the ending's very meta. It's very, like, fourth wall breaking. So, regardless of that, I'm going to give Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe a 3.5 out of 5. I definitely enjoyed this. It was very interesting seeing this alternate universe where Deadpool is just murdering all your favorite characters in very unique ways. Well, that's it for the video, and thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click those 2 comic book covers to get my review on the next part of the Deadpool Killology. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.